welcome to another episode of the FMV Archive today, where we're doing the November 2025 released game One Rotten Oath. This is the ultimate indie game. You know why? Because it's just a dude. One person is the developer and the publisher of this game. Piotr Bunkowski, I'm pretty sure that is. I'm Polish, so I think I know how to pronounce that one correctly. This is sold as an FPS game, first-person shooter slash FMV game, but we get deepfaked. Yes, there's a deepfake in this. There's more than meets the eye in this little game right here. You may have recognized this guy's name. He also did a Trip to Yugoslavia. I believe it was 2017. We're definitely going to get to that game at some point. Played it years ago. Totally different, weird type of game back in the day. Got a lot of critical acclaim back then, but this is his first game since then, and that is important to know, and we will get into that later. This is the tender tale of a dude who's making his way through the apocalypse, and zombies keep attacking, and he keeps shooting them. But you know what? It's not really about that. Sure, we have seen it before, but have we seen it before? Where there's a great story told in just the 7 to 8 minutes of video that you get in between the FPS rounds? I think not. Let us look into our 10-point system to find out if this is a game you should be checking out on Steam. Look and graphics. When you do the FPS of this, you're gonna say, holy cow, that looks familiar. What is it? Corpse Killer. This looks exactly like Corpse Killer, at least on the Sega CD and the Sega 32X, I believe, if you actually played it there. It is a game where you are just kind of going back and shooting zombies. If you didn't catch Corpse Killer, we have a full review of that here on our page, plus the ending to that, which is absolutely insane. There's not much here, but then you get the full motion video cutscenes in between the rounds of the shooting games. That's where the game is. Overall, the actual FPS, not that great looking. The FMV, very good looking. So we're gonna give it a 7 overall for look and graphics. On to the gameplay, number 2. I didn't think it was a great game for the FPS when I started playing it. I think it's fun. There's kind of a Hogan's Alley section of it. That's the one I think I like the best. It's a little bit clunky, the controls. They get better as the game goes on, and I think there's a reason for that, and we'll go into that in a second. But it's a little bit clunky when you're doing it. Although I did play it on the Steam Deck. Might be better on your PC, but it does work 100% on the Steam Deck. Had no issues running the game on that. Worked fine. We're gonna give it a 5 overall for gameplay, just because, like I said, the controls are not great. It's sold as an FPS game, but no! Getting to number 3, the story. What is this story about? This story is not about a guy living in a bunker, keeping away a zombie apocalypse. It's about a developer struggling in the video game world. Yes, that's what this game actually is. There's a wonderful story told here, and it gets told a little bit through that first-person shooter and how the developer makes adjustments to the game in between that, and the toll that it takes on the developer. I'm not going to spoil it for you because I think it is completely worth discovering it for yourself. You are deep-faked into thinking this, if you watch the trailer, thinking this is just a first-person shooter FMV game. It is not. It is a story-driven narrative that happens to have FPS to help tell the story. Number 4, the dialogue. Whether it's written down, whether it's the spoken word that is in there in between the scenes, it is very good. There's a lot of talks about perfection and improvement on yourself and on your work. This developer definitely has that, artistic weight on his shoulders that he really wants to make something absolutely amazing. And you definitely get that through the dialogue. Comes through in the story very well. Dialogue's great. 9 overall for the dialogue. We usually go over the consequences of making choices on here. Not that type of game. It's more of a linear story here, so we're going to go over game logic and controls. The controls aren't great, but they do work. They are responsive, and the one thing I do like about this, since it is a story game, no, not the first-person shooter you think, since it is a story game, the shooting and the aiming at the zombies, very forgiving. If you're a little bit off when you're firing at these zombies, you're gonna be okay. I died a handful of times on this, but almost every time you can get through the 1-minute rounds relatively easy. It's an 8 overall for game logic and controls. Number 6, the acting. There isn't too much acting in it. The acting of the actual zombies in it is laughably bad, which it is laughably bad in Corpse Killer. I imagine the developer had to have played that game back in the day and was inspired by it. Acting in between in the FMVs, pretty darn good. There's not much to it. It's pretty basic. We'll give it a 5 overall for the acting. Number 7, direction and cinematography. The choices for the shots, the angles of the shots, the objects that are in the shots that are made here. Really well thought out, really good. I think everything in here is in there for a reason, and it makes sense when you watch it the whole way through. When you get a little bit towards the end, there's a little bit of distortion of images there, which I think is great. And once you know the story, the distortion of the images on there makes complete sense for that. It pairs up perfectly. I think that is excellent. And the story that pairs together with how the FPS gameplay works out and how the game is developed. You're playing a game kind of how it develops throughout it. And it makes so much sense and it goes together so well. C'est magnifique, chef's kiss on this. Direction and cinematography, easily a 10 overall. Number 8, the music. It's fine, it's okay. The sound effects aren't great. Gonna knock you off a couple points for that. Wish it would have been a little bit better, but I think that kind of, is the whole point of the SPF's game. It's not supposed to be great. 4 overall for the music. Number 9, inventiveness. What's new in this game? Well, I'll tell you what's new. They're using a first-person shooter deepfake. Yeah, it's not a first-person shooter game to tell a great story about depression, development, and creating something artistic that is from your heart, and all the roadblocks that you get into that. That is absolutely nuts. It's a deepfake, like One Cut of the Dead, if you've ever seen that. It's a one movie, and then it's a completely different movie the second half, and then it's a completely different movie in the third act. It's wild. I kind of liked it because of that. The inventiveness is great. It is a 10 overall for inventiveness. Number 10, how much fun did I have playing this? I had a lot of fun playing it. The FPS, while it doesn't look all that great and the controls aren't wonderful, the rounds are quick enough that I kind of had fun playing them. I enjoyed it, and they're a little bit different every time. Even though it's a very general basic setup and on the screen, it's an enjoyable one to play through because they're just 1-minute rounds. That's all you're doing. I loved that, loved the story. 8 overall for fun. That brings us to a final score of a 78, but what is our final verdict? Is this a game that you should be paying for on Steam? Because it's only on Steam right now. Well, I think there's a couple of things. One, for the full $7, it only lasts an hour. That might be not worth it for you for $7, or maybe you think, hey, I've rented a movie on Netflix or Prime Video and paid $19.99 for it, and that's 2 hours. So it might be right in the middle for you. For some people, it might be too much. You might want to wait for it to go on sale at some point, but for others, I think you'll enjoy it. If you like story-driven entertainment, I think you'll really like this. If you like artistic development and all the thinking and thought process that goes into this, I think you'll like this game. If you're here for a first-person shooter, I don't think you'll like this game at all. I think you'll think it's absolutely not fun at all, but I think if you're here for the story, you're really gonna enjoy it. That said, if you like this, please hit subscribe, please hit like. That's how we're gonna do more of these. We do nothing but full motion video. We like doing it from developers like Mr. Bunkowski here, and doing stuff from small people that are doing great things with very little budget, maybe no budget at all, and just putting out really crazy artistic stuff. We did Decade earlier. Decade's a really fun game. One developer, one publisher, a lot of fun. So if you like weird FMV stuff, that's all we do here. Thank you. Have a good one.